right. You ready?
Yep.
Make it happen, Captain.
We recording?
Yes.
All right then. So welcome to another edition of Real Talk with Real People podcast, and this is our episode, Living Your Best Life with Karoline and AJ. And we're here in the house, and we're living our best life, and we got a guest today who's living his best life. But before we get to our guest, I want to just give AJ an opportunity to say hello to the people out there.
What's happening, folks? How are you doing? Hope you had a blessed day, because my day was awesome.
Your day is always awesome.
Every day's a Friday. What can I tell you?
Every day's a Friday. We had an awesome weekend, too. We ain't going to talk about that tonight, though, but we did have an awesome weekend.
Sure, you're right.
He hung out with me this weekend.
I was her +1.
Yes, he was. It was good to have it reversed, where I'm always his +1, but this time,
Nice, very nice.
he was my +1.
I told them people, I said, y'all don't know how hard it is to walk around here being a trophy husband.
I
It
love
felt good. It felt good on my side, too. It felt good on my side, too. But honey, we are here today with our guest. So I'm
Special guest.
Every guest that come in this studio is our special guest.
Yeah, man.
He's our special guest. We're going to give him that. So I want you to introduce him.
Absolutely. Folks, you don't understand. I've been chasing this man down for quite some time. We are friendly frenemies. I've met almost his whole family. Love his wife. She's a beautiful woman. Met his daughter. Didn't get a chance to hang out with the granddaughter yet, but no, grandson, not the granddaughter,
right.
little Carter, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't had a chance to hang out with him, but I did get a chance to hang out, with his daughter and his son, who I don't particularly care for, because like his dad, they root for the wrong damn NFL team, and I'm definitely going to hold that against them. But what I will say about their father is this man is quite the mover and shaker. You want to really laugh about this, sir. I think I met you 10 years ago.
Wow.
This is 2024, and I believe the first time we met was 2014 when we got invited out to Spiota Park.
That would make sense.
So this man, for you folks that don't know, I am a hardcore music lover. Music, if you cut me, music notes will come out my veins. This guy has me beat, because I kind of do music on my own on the low, but he seems to have his fingers in music everywhere. If he's not going somewhere to see music, listening to music, but what he's really doing, he's like P.T. Barnum, he's like Don King, but not ripping folks off kind of way. He is out there pounding the pavement, promoting live music. And in this generation that we're currently in, the devaluation of music is so disheartening, because folks do not respect and revere music the way that music has that ability to change your day, to change your week, your year, and your life. And people are forgetting about the magic power that music has, but not this gentleman sitting to my immediate left. He makes it his business to engage the community, to engage the artists, to engage the venues, to try to keep this live music thing as vibrant as he can. If someone gave him a $5 million grant, I'm telling you, we'd all be balling. I don't know how he's doing it on the budget he's working with, but he's doing it real big. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to bring to you on Living Your Best Life from Gregory Burrus Productions. It is the big man himself, Mr. Gregory Burrus. Clap it up, honey. Clap it up.
Well, my hands are full of something.
My man, welcome to the show.
Put my juice down.
Thank you.
It has been
Thank
so
you.
hard to get you here. And as I said, I'm not going to hold the Dallas Cowboys against you as a New York Giants fan, but that just gives us someplace else to talk about, okay?
It just so happened I came through the door, even though I got out and saw this giant fan. I went, which house is it going to be? And then I saw this fan's flag. And I said, well, I'm going to be nice. And I came in, but I was hard pressed.
So how was your day today?
That day was a very, very interesting day. It was a classic, I call it live music day, because the wife and kid are up in Detroit.
Okay, okay.
And my daughter came back in today, and I was just doing some backup, paperwork and catching up. And then I got the call. I need a band here, I need a band there in McQuaig Park. And, the music started, and they wanted it on Thursday.
Okay,
So
okay.
it was like, get busy.
So what you're saying to
Overall,
me is
good
that was a
day.
normal day for you?
Good day. Good day.
That's a normal day for you.
Good day when I'm not outside doing anything. Yes.
So I would like to start. I always, I told folks where we've met. We met across music. But we like to go back, right? So tell us where you were born, what was your life growing up, and what made you love music?
Oh, we gotta go way back.
Yes.
Way back.
The sundial, because they didn't have
Right,
digital back
right.
then.
Oh, God. Yes, back when Dallas was winning games,
Yeah.
and the Giants were just a thought. But
You gonna go there?
I was born in the Bronx.
Okay.
And way back when, South Bronx, Lyman Street, around Prospect Street, for people who know that, went to school at St. Anthony of Padua.
Okay.
And I'm going to say, I was going to skip all the way to when music came in, which was years later, but when I think about the people I met along the way and whatnot, I remember my father with the thing that you take downstairs and you put on the sidewalk, and had this little arm that went out.
Okay.
And they used to play music on the street.
Okay.
So I'll have a comeback to that later.
I like that.
We always had music in the house.
Okay.
And we were the little kids that my mom and dad always loved to dance and party. So it was the Carlton Ballroom on 96th Street, or
Wow.
the one up on 149th. We were the kids in the back running around while they were out dancing and having fun. And
The
they
parents
were
took you with them because
Yeah.
nobody, there was no babysitters, no
Correct.
daycare.
That's-
You hung out with your
that
parents.
wasn't it, yeah.
Let me ask you,
Mm-hmm.
siblings. You have siblings?
I have had
Mm-hmm.
a brother who
Mhm.
was 5 years older than me, and
Okay.
a sister who was 4 years younger. And unfortunately, she just passed literally a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
So-
Our condolences. Sorry to hear that.
So I've been doing the running back, and she lived all the way in Long Island, so
Okay.
I've been going back and forth with that and whatnot, still settling that out. But yeah, no, I had brother, sister, adopted sisters along the way, 'cause I have a sister that lives down in Atlanta, Georgia.
Really?
I met when I was much younger, yeah.
Okay.
So we have some, actually, when I think about it, I'm the last one on the Burrus side under my mother and father's line, my mother's line.
Yeah.
So I'm the last one, all her sisters, and she had like 6, 7 sisters.
Wow.
3, 4 brothers, and so far they've all passed, so I'm the one keeping it going,
Thank God. Somebody got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I went from the South Bronx, we moved to the North Bronx somewhere around the 5th, 6th grade. Up there I was, we went to Catholic school up there, played a lot of basketball,
Okay.
made it into high school. Claim to fame was I went to Powell Memorial Academy.
Oh,
I
with
played-
Lou Alcindor back
Yes,
then.
thank you.
Our
You
Memorial.
remember the name,
I
yes.
know my history, dog.
So yeah, I went there because back then we played ball all day in the streets. and
Absolutely.
I was supposed to go to Gompers because I loved cars, but my mother figured I wouldn't make it, so she took me down to different schools. And then back then, academics was a thing they really looked at hard.
Okay.
So I went down and walked into the gym, and all I saw was knee pads. I was like, oh, Mom, big girl, tall hair. I got to go here and play ball. Of course, I made a couple of the years, but Power had some very heavy people.
Absolutely.
So my, junior years, like, yeah, okay, we'll see you later.
Okay.
But we had a good time because Lou was winning at the time and everything, and beating every school in the state, really.
Yeah, man. The story, so folks that don't know, in the Northeast corridor up here, we are rabid about our basketball.
Yeah.
And when you talk about places like New York City, the boroughs alone, you
Right.
could field Hall of Fame teams alone. And then there are certain schools that just have a legacy, and you attended one of those schools with that legacy. So that's good to know about you.
Yeah, it was good. So, and the other fun fact was Powell Memorial was an old, hospital that over the years converted into something else, converted into a school.
Okay.
So when I went there, I remember coming home and my grandmother says, your uncle was born in the basement. I go, really? So, she was like, yeah, I know that school, it's blah, 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 blah. It was old when they came over from Ellis Island and all of that. Then fast forward a number of years, who did I end up marrying? But right across the street was the projects where we all used to hang out. I never knew who was in there.
Okay.
But like 20, 30 years later, when I met my wife Roxanne,
Okay.
she says, "Where you live at?" "Oh, on 61st Street in Amsterdam." And I go, "But I went to high school on 61st in Amsterdam." She literally lived right across the
Right.
street.
Wow.
So,
Ain't that
you
strange?
know, right at Lincoln Center. So it just went in circles, it seems like.
Okay.
But, went there, went to high school, got out, joined the phone company.
Okay, I was going to
Back
ask you
then.
your career. Okay.
Yeah, so career-wise, I went to the phone company. I did underground work with the manholes and all,
All right.
cable splicing. and all.
In New York City?
All the 5 boroughs in New York.
God bless
so
you.
I joined on 14th Street and 8th Avenue.
Uh-huh.
Back in the days where you walked down 2nd Avenue and it was hippie center, like Haight-Ashbury.
Yes.
So you'd walk down the street and the smoke, the weed would be,
Yeah.
marijuana would be, and
You
I
like
was just
today.
doing it.
Just
Yeah,
doing my job.
exactly. Full circle
Yes.
Like
again.
today.
We came all the way back.
All the way back. So we used to do that. You know, the Dome was there and all the clubs down there at the
Okay.
time. And I worked through there for years, and then I went inside because working outdoors is cold.
Of course.
So, you know, the day that I opened the manhole, and, you know, when you're younger, you're the new kid on the block.
Yeah, you're doing the grunt work.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, so, you know, I opened the manhole, put the tent up, the tent flew away. We're on the West Side Highway down by, you know, Wall Street.
Yes.
The wind's whipping through, and I remember sitting there freezing going,
Got to
"Maybe
be a
it's
better
time to
way.
make a change."
Who that sound like, honey?
Sounds like you.
Yeah, it was cool. So I ended up going inside and becoming, that time they call them switch people. So
Okay.
we did all the switches that transferred the phone calls, and then I worked on
Oh, yeah. I
computers.
remember that. I mean, I
Yeah.
never did it, but I
Yeah,
saw
that's
it on
what
TV.
Yeah, and so in the TV shows was the guy running down the aisle going, "Get the phone number, it's on switch 3, line 1.
Yeah, man.
Now they hit a button, but you know,
Yes.
that's what they used to do. And from there I ended up going into, inside doing a lot more, what do we call it, the service delivery process.
Okay.
So from the time you called the phone company, there was like 20 computers, and you know, till you get to the other end.
Okay.
So I was a service process manager, director, traveled a lot. In '95, we had the worst service in the country, so I got the luxury, if you call it that. They imported people from every part of the country in
Yes.
to fix the service.
Okay.
Because back then the phone company was kind of quasi-government because there was no other communication network.
Right,
So
right.
we had a lot of reporting to do, and they would report on us.
Okay.
So we had people coming from everywhere. So fun part, I used to manage all the out-of-towners all over the place.
Okay.
Those that liked me and those that didn't, because they didn't know what they're coming in for. They just knew they were getting paid a lot.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I'd take them around, show them where to go.
Oh,
Be the
yeah.
helper all day long.
Wow, that's
So
interesting.
yeah, it was a lot of fun way back in the day.
Okay.
And then,
Because that's a heavy infrastructure you're working with,
oh yeah,
especially when you're talking New York City. Like,
yeah. So
That's
I did
amazing.
that. Then I went into. We push air out on all the cables to keep
Oh, yeah.
the leaks out.
Wait a minute.
Compressors.
stop. That's nitrogen.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
right. I know.
So
Come
we
on now.
had the big compressors.
I
and
got a lot
used
of
to
big
do
brain, a
that.
lot of information in here.
So we did all of that, and that was like plumbing. So I did that for a
Okay.
while because we had to manage the machines and all. Did that all over town,
Okay.
the state and whatnot. And then from there, went into management. Went into traveling a lot. So I had an office in Boston and an office in New York. Back then it was Eastern Airlines.
Oh, God.
So we used to literally leave 42nd Street, jump on a plane, I'd go to my office in the afternoon, come back in the evening, go home
Oh.
and start all over again, because we had, you know, I had office all up and down New Hampshire and Maine. So, you know, Boston was easy to get to and then go back and forth.
Right, right.
So I did that for a couple of years. And that's back when, you know, it was Eastern, so Verizon, well, then it was New York Telephone and Nynex.
Nynex.
So they kind of
Yes,
owned the
Nynex.
plane, because it was like 50 of us on the plane at any given time. And then when I left there, they did the re-engineering, and that's when, you know, they were downsizing like crazy. Company had to go from like 200 people down to like 125.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody said, you know, everybody hated it, but somebody said,
Here.
get on the team. Just get on the team no matter what you do. So 7 years later, we re-engineered the company, but that was a lot of traveling.
Okay.
So, you know, you had to go around, see what other companies were doing around the world and whatnot, and you came back and then applied it. People were dropping like flies like crazy, and then one day in 1997, I was walking down the street, and they said, you know, we got a package, and we're at the end of re-engineering. And I said I would stay. And I was walking, I'll never forget, I was walking up 42nd Street. There was a McDonald's on the corner. My wife worked on 46 in the phone company. And I said, you know, they gave me a package. They said I could go, but what did I want to do? By the time I got off the phone, I was leaving.
Yeah.
I walked back upstairs and said, okay,
I'm
I'm
out.
taking the package, I'm out. And that was big fun.
And that was in '97?
That was in '97. I
Oh.
retired from that. That was like after 23 years.
Okay.
23, 24, and they were given 6 and 6, so they did 60 year age, 60 years of service.
Boost you
They
up
made
there.
the magic number, 30 years each. It was 75 was the number they were looking for.
Right. Ours is rule of 80. Yep. Okay,
Yeah,
I got you.
yeah.
Okay.
So we got, I got out. That was like the ultimate dream. I'm retired. I was sitting home. I think I lasted 6 months. I
Of
was
course,
bored
'cause
as all
at
crap.
that point, you
Yeah.
got to go do
You
something.
got to do something. Yeah.
Yes.
So that's when I went back, and not back, but I found out in '98, '99 the internet was coming. Everybody was starting phone companies.
Okay.
So all over, between mobile services getting started, the internet was pushing out services, companies were downsizing
Okay.
and dropping like flies. I found out I became super smart. It was like amazing. I went from regular telephone guy who's worked there all his life
To the
to
internet
people who
guru.
were starting companies. So
I love
therefore,
it. Love it.
I was getting calls like crazy because you show us how to start a company. So I'd go to Alabama, sit down with the people, and remember it was Interconnect Services, external companies, WorldCom and them tried to get into the phone.
Yes.
I was the guy that could tell them how to do it.
Boy, you never came to public service? Because we had, I remember our guys going through that when the internet was coming on.
Yeah.
Because at that time I was coming off the road and going into the storeroom. All the time on the road, we had, we finally got our MDTs, we call them.
Right.
And we thought that was high tech until you get in the office and you
Yeah.
get an actual PC. Now you're like, oh, this is much more fun. So, okay,
Yeah,
so.
no, I did that for a long
So
time.
you basically then your whole career has really been in that telecommunications market.
Telecom and IT.
Okay,
Because since
telecom and
I
IT.
knew all the computer systems that made it work,
Okay.
so when other companies were starting, they weren't telecom driven.
Yes.
They were money driven.
Yes.
So it was like Mary Kay literally bought a switch, had one, and wanted to know what to do with it. Literally, that's how it flipped from, I'm trying to provide service to, I know there's a revenue stream, I know there's money. We had companies coming in from India, Russia, you name it. So I ended up in Ottawa working for a company for years,
Okay.
where I literally would go to the airport, get people from Moscow and Louis Lvovia, bring them into Ottawa, sit them down, show them what to do, because the money was like huge back then.
Right.
Whole families off the I mean, literally, wife, dog, kid,
Yes.
the favorite little toy,
Yeah.
and walk them out, because somebody had to meet them in order for them to come into the country.
Okay. Yes.
So I was the American who was in Canada, who was hired to bring them in,
Okay.
and then we teach them how to do, IT work and all of that.
Did you ever form your own company and do this on your own,
Well, I was
as
doing it as
opposed to working for someone
No, I was doing it as a consultant.
as a
Once
consultant?
I left as '97,
Okay.
then I became my own consultant.
Yeah.
So I was
Okay.
more consultant.
Okay.
So it was like this, to me, I was like the step before total entrepreneur
Yes.
of starting a company.
Yes.
But as a consultant, they'd call me, they'd say, go here.
Gotcha.
You either work for this company or
Gotcha.
there's a contract and this is what we need done. So I did that for, God, all the way up to 2006. We went to Norway, Sweden, you name it. I had offices in Australia where I'd have people down there working. So it was more like project
This is
and
amazing.
management at the same
I
time.
know, I'm sitting here listening
Yeah.
to him.
This is
and
amazing.
saying, like, he has already an amazing life, and we haven't even gotten.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
To the music.
we're almost there, almost there.
But that's
But this
I'm
is,
sitting here, but
but you
I'm
need
so
that
intrigued,
backstory to
right?
hear. 'Cause-
yeah.
I am so intrigued
Right.
at hearing your story.
Absolutely.
And I'm like, wow, this is like amazing.
Yeah, no, this is what I was doing, and I remember going to a number of places.
I'm also going to say, you hit the sweet spot
Oh,
because
definitely.
you came in. This thing was new. Nobody knew what this was, so you hit that vein. It was like you in a mine, and you swinging the pick, and all of a sudden you hit it, and the mother lode opens up.
The other part that was good is that I love travel.
Okay.
So
Got to travel
be in
on
an
somebody
office
else's
of somebody else. people would go, I need somebody in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
I need them really by Monday morning because
Oh.
we got this big meeting and the contract people coming in. Can you be there? And, you know, the guy said, man, you'll be back every weekend. It was like 4 years later. I was flying back and forth every weekend.
Okay.
But it turned into every other week, every other month. And so the kids started coming up with the wife to wherever I was.
Okay.
Point, my daughter thought she was born in Ottawa because she thought she was Canadian.
Canadian.
She heard it so much.
Yes.
But I did that, the whole IT/telecom thing for, that's about 2006. I was
Okay.
traveling,
Okay.
you name it. I'd go there and get them started, or they'd tell me, no, don't work. And the money was stupid at the time, so
Absolutely.
it really worked out well.
I like it. I love it.
So all of that was business management and process management plus the IT.
Okay.
So, you know, between the computers, how our people work with each other, you can envision me going into New Hampshire or Maine or somewhere and saying, okay, I'm now your boss, and I'd get 20 fingers under the table.
Yep. Of
You know,
course.
and then you'd have to work with people that really don't want to work with you.
Right, because you're the outsider,
Yeah.
regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
I don't have the accent in a lot of places like Alabama or those places, Arkansas.
I'm also going to say that your shading may work
Yeah,
against you
that
too.
that was interesting too.
Because I know some of the good old boys didn't appreciate you.
Well, that didn't really change much either.
But and also though, as a professional witness, because what would happen is AT&T or WorldCom or whatever would hire me, since they knew I knew how to get into
Yes, sir.
the whole standard phone companies.
Yeah.
Now I'm sitting in a place where I'm saying, oh yeah, no, what you're saying is wrong. You can do this.
Yeah.
That. I mean, I had to run out of some states.
Yeah.
Okay, I was literally like, you're gonna go to the hotel? No, I'm just gonna go straight to the airport and get
Yeah,
on
no.
and I'm out of here. So that was good for years, but I did all of that stuff. All of that to say, yes, that was the background for getting to the music because I couldn't tell you what South Orange looked like. I had lived there 26 years. I was always
But
traveling.
you always travel.
I was
Yes.
on the road.
Got you.
So when I decided to leave, I think I was in Kansas, running across some 6-lane highway to get to somewhere from some hotel, and I went to an office one day. Oh, it was off Sprint, and
Okay.
they built their campus like a college campus.
Mm-hmm.
20 buildings, 20 parking lots, all looked the same. Harvard, one of those type of looks, because the wife of the guy who owned it, you know,
Went to
MCN, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I remember sitting in a meeting one day, and I came out the meeting. I couldn't figure out where my office was. I literally was standing, and you know, we were contractors, so you always got something temporary. But I stood there. I had no idea whether to go to building Z, go to building A, go to this building. And I said, I think it must be time.
Must be
So
time.
that's when I left in 2006. I was working with Sprint contract out there. And was home, going to local, and I was looking at people doing the music, you know, in the town and
Mhm.
whatnot. I think about a year or two later, I said, you know, I don't understand why there's nobody here at these events. You know, you had your moms, your pops, but when it's time to get dark or it's time for the kids to go to sleep, they're leaving.
Mhm.
So you'd have a great band playing, or a bad band, but they'd all be playing to themselves.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this is crazy. You'd be
Okay.
playing for an hour and a half. So I must have said it enough to the right people that this woman, Melissa Hodge from South Orange downtown, said, you want to do some booking of bands and whatnot? I said, yeah. She said, you sure? I said, yeah, it's people, it's process.
Yeah, I was
And that's
thinking
how
that
it
same
started.
thing. You
Yeah.
just basically transferred everything that you have been doing through your whole entire career,
Mm-hmm.
just in another medium.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
taking those skills because
That's it.
it's always working with groups. I mean, there was times I was in telecom and IT, and I'd be landing in an airport at 4 in the morning, get to the hotel. There'd be my team of, you know, like a team of 60, 70 people.
Mm-hmm.
The leaders of each team would be sitting there looking at me, and I'm trying to find out how to go to the bed. And they'd be like, yeah, what do we need? You got to perk up, tell everybody what to do.
Yep.
And it's people,
Yeah.
right? Some of them are like going crazy. Some of them like I needed yesterday. The meeting started 2 hours from now. So you're always working with people
Absolutely.
and process and whatnot and what
Absolutely.
tools
It's
do
all
you
the
have.
same.
So that's how I ended up there.
So you had your aha moment out in
Mhm.
Kansas, realizing I got to turn this off. I got to do something else in my life. Flipped over to the music thing. At what point did you have your next aha moment where you said, this is a good thing. I got something good going on here. I can do this.
That's an interesting one. because I don't know if it probably was somewhere in AHA over time,
Mm-hmm.
but the bands were loving it as I was getting more people out to, look at the bands. People I was doing it for had no problem because we were bringing people into the town and whatnot. So I'd say somewhere in the next year or two or three, it became a thing where people were starting to hit me up to do things.
Okay.
And it was outside of just what I was doing there in South Orange.
Okay.
So somewhere along there, it probably hit me that, gee, this is a fun thing to do.
And
I
this,
had
and
fun
this is the
doing it.
guy to talk to make it happen.
Yeah, and to me, I mean, there was days where I could do 5-6 events in a week, turned into in a day. And to me, it was all fun, and my wife would look at me like, where you going? And I lived right there in South Orange at
Yes,
the time.
I
so,
could walk right out. Yeah, I ain't even got to
walk on down
drive.
the corner, I'm up by Seton Hall, walk on down, put music on the street corner, and go to the next corner.
Yes.
So,
That's interesting, though.
yeah.
I'm gonna ask a
Mm-hmm.
strange question, but not strange. You don't play any instruments, or ever been in a band? I'm asking. This is a question.
This
I'm not.
is a
No,
good question, honey.
I'm
This is a
asking
good
a
question. This is a good question.
Here's the answer to your question. You took me all the way back to the 3rd grade.
Okay.
Saxophone,
Nope. You ready?
violin.
Yep.
Violin?
Third grade, Catholic school, so they don't have music
Oh.
programs.
Yeah, they don't.
So they
Okay.
always have an instrument somewhere.
Yeah.
I was called out of the class one by one. Father Noto and Sister Marie, whatever, Agnes Marie, I think her name is.
Okay.
You would go down the stairs, and one by one, we'd go to the piano.
Piano.
In the hallway, you come off the steps landing, and you'd play. And they'd let you know that you
Yay
could
or
play.
nay?
And I was a big nay. I was like, the heck out of here. Okay? So I took that as a very disappointing, thing, and I went back upstairs, was totally defeated.
And
And
you didn't try again?
my thing is, if I see Sister Mary Frances, she's probably like 129.
Yeah.
I'll kick her ass. Okay, I'm sorry.
Listen.
I'm gonna tell her where to go. I don't care if she's in a walker. It was her fault. Her father
Oh,
knows.
so she was the person that stopped
Exactly.
another person from playing her
Playing
band
his spirit.
music, right?
Exactly.
I like
Okay,
Killed
I
it.
got you. She killed your spirit.
Absolutely.
And kept you from picking up an instrument.
Yeah, so
Okay.
no, I don't
Shame
play.
on you, Mary.
Yes,
What was her
Mary
name?
Frances.
Mary Frances, shame on you.
Yep.
Shame.
Yeah, no, I don't
So let's
play.
stay in that vein because I like that. That was actually a great question to ask.
Mhm.
Okay.
What?
So I'm going to go on the other side of that. So since you couldn't play an instrument, well, she discouraged you. You could probably play one. You just at that point you walked away.
Yeah.
What music did you love that made you gravitate to this thing so hard that you couldn't get it out your system?
It's interesting. Today I'd use the word jazz,
Mm-hmm.
but to me, jazz back then,
Mm-hmm.
like when my father and them were introducing us to it, it was dance music.
Yes, it was. People don't think it.
Yeah.
Jazz was popular music.
The records came out, you opened the top, they put them on, and everybody go around. And,
Yes.
oh, oops, is that me?
Your phone, you good?
Oh, okay. So all I saw was parents dancing to the music.
Okay.
Right, so to me, it was jazz, it was R&B,
Okay.
it was all of that. Years later, I was thinking of that T.S. Monk,
Oh,
Oh,
and
okay.
talking to him one day.
the son.
Yes, the
Yes.
son.
Great drummer.
He had a family and friends that lived on one side, down the corner from my wife on 61st Street. They call like the Phipps houses, and part of them lived there. So we were talking about that connection because my wife was at the event with me.
Okay.
So that sort of came up, and we kept talking, and he goes, oh, yeah, Elmo Hope? I go, yeah. He said, they used to live right in the Bronx. And I go, really? He goes, yeah. They just renamed the street for him called Elmo Hope Way.
Okay.
And I said, there's only one street in the Bronx that they did that at. It's called Lyman Place, because where I lived, it was
Frankie
one block
Lyman.
between 169th and like whatever the next street was before Katona Park. No, what it came down to was, I don't know, it probably was Frankie Lyman, but they renamed that, and that's when I found out my mother's best friend was the Hope, a sister who lived across the street. So Elmo Hope,
Mm-hmm.
Bertha Hope, when they weren't in California, whatever, they would come in there. That's part of the crew that would come out and play music on the street.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. So somewhere along that whole genre, my brother was big into the music, you know.
Okay.
He's 5 years older than me, so he was there. He had every record, looked like that. We still have that somewhere.
Yeah, man.
That's transported album after album from house to house.
Oh,
to
yeah,
house.
man.
Yeah.
I keep trying to get rid of them. Every time I try,
Yeah.
I can't.
I know.
I can't. And let me ask you, name some of your favorite, not just in that era, but across the spectrum. You know, give us, 5 or 6 of your favorite artists, musicians who you truly, truly love.
So now we want to get in trouble.
Yeah, no, this is, because look,
No,
look,
some
watch
of the ones,
this.
some of
Look,
the ones I like.
I'm Prince. I'm Miles. I'm Maurice White from Earth, Wind and Fire. Obviously, the whole band. I grew up with the funk stuff, Cameo, Pleasure. These are the music that spoke to me, that got me to where I am today.
Right.
So I just want to know just a few of the things that kind of.
I'm trying to
It don't
think.
have to be popular.
Yeah,
because,
just-
like,
No, it's
Yeah.
popular. I'm trying to think backwards.
Yeah.
When there was like Sam Cooke.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Jackie Wilson and.
Oh, Jackie
Yeah.
Wilson used to be up the corner to the right. He had a girlfriend. We all knew when he showed up in the Bronx because his limo was longer than the driveway.
Yeah, man. And you walked in here talking about Chubby Checker.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, you ain't
no,
disparaging
over time.
nobody.
and I know all these people too.
Yes,
Yeah.
right there from back then.
Because of my father. and my
Exactly.
mother,
So
know?
you're not
The one-
disparaging nobody. We talking
No.
about what's hitting you in your chest.
No, well, different things hit me at different times.
Exactly.
Like right now.
Oh, yeah. So what you listen to right now?
Do you know the song "Wait a Minute"?
I do not.
See, it's Will Smith's daughter, Willow.
Oh, yes.
Willow.
Well, I know it now because
That's
I
why
saw
I said it that way.
Yes, because I don't know it by title,
I
but
can sing that stuff forever.
Yes.
Wait a minute. It's really weird the different things that hit me at different
yeah,
times.
man. That one is good because that's a stretch, bro. Because
So-
she's not a mainstream artist at all.
But she's coming up.
Okay.
And believe me, so other than that song, I don't know.
Did you see the all-girl band she had with the
yes,
dude on
yes.
There's a dude on piano. That's Mohini Day on bass.
Yeah.
That's the Pocket Queen on drums.
Oh, that is?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I love her. She's
So
good.
she
I
got
watch all
her.
stuff. Yeah.
Willow went and got her an all-star band to deliver her music. That's why
nice.
you feeling it.
Yeah, because it comes across. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, know her. I'm also a big Sade fan. Sade.
Okay.
Oh, so am I.
Yeah.
That's
oh,
G-
yeah. I love, like, play
That's
her
that's
over
Jay's
and over.
baby mama drama wife.
Oh, really?
He love that woman. Oh yeah, we might do some Sade for you next time we come out.
Yeah, and I like her and all the. And I do a lot of the smooth jazz stuff.
Okay.
Like Vincent Ingala's coming next week where you were last
Yes.
week.
Oh,
He'll be there. They sold
you're
out
at
that
your
show.
thing. So I was going to get tickets to go down there, but you're at that thing. But you coming home Saturday?
I'm coming home Saturday night.
Yeah, you might.
It's over. Everything is over like at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So I'm
She
in,
needs to go straight to the theater.
I'm in Edison, so it's like
All right.
take 30 minutes to get home.
We'll think about it.
Yeah.
All right. But
But yeah, so no, I do a lot of that. So I've been on a jazz cruise.
okay.
The one out of Florida a couple of times, and
Oh, the real one.
the real one.
Yeah, not
one
the,
with boat. One where
yeah.
you wake up in the morning and
Yeah.
Desron Douglas is playing bass in the hall.
In the hall,
something
yes.
like that, But I've done that, 2018 and all,
Okay.
and
And what about your?
I love Grover.
You have to.
I play him over and over again.
You have
those
to.
Cats,
Yes, man. Let me ask you about this local music scene. And for you, when I say local, I'm really saying more like Essex County, but you have a little bit deeper tentacles. So you have quite a multitude of bands that are out here that are trying to make some mark. What draws you to the folks you see on the local scene? Because clearly, most of these folks don't have the kind of notoriety. There's a few folks that, big fish in the pond that have a little bit of a name. I would immediately say guys like Adam, Rodham Schwartz and, Nat Adderley and, cats like that. But what draws you to the local cats that you try to keep out there on the scene?
It's a very interesting question because it's changed over time.
Okay.
So I'm going to say, and just as a marker, COVID, pre-COVID.
COVID, pre-COVID,
And
okay.
the reason being is that before COVID, bands were playing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Restaurant owners, all of them. They were still giving crap to people, doing good and bad. But once COVID hit, and I did like the 24 hours of music, and I was doing it online.
Yes.
I came out and I said, let's do it again live. But what happened is it was a decided it was like a monumental shift, because
Yes.
now they had to make money off of what they were doing.
Yes.
Because they were starting from zero. And it wasn't a lot of people who grew up with the music.
Yes.
So it's like, what draws me before was, I love the music, I love the music, I love the music.
Okay.
Now, it's a lot of the stuff I'm doing, I got to make it profitable music.
Got to
Profitable
make
music.
profitable.
Oh, okay.
So, you know,
Okay.
so
Okay.
I'm now looking at bands in like two categories. If you're doing a free event and it don't cost people to get in, da-da-da-da-da, host of bands that are great at that.
Yes.
And then there's places where if you want to make some money for the artist, for myself, or for others,
Yes.
then you got to have bands that attract people.
I
Yeah.
love what you're saying right
So,
now. Absolutely.
I just did this whole series at, we wrapped up the Sunday brunch at South Valley,
Yes.
and I literally had to go through bands that have fans.
Yeah.
So you get some bands that get pissed off at you because everybody wants to play.
Yeah, man.
But the reality is, if I didn't get 50 people in the door per band,
Right.
you
You're
know,
not
you
making.
see what it is. It's
That
not
makes
easy.
sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So
No,
it's a
Greg,
$20
it's not
ticket,
easy, yeah.
$30 ticket.
Yes.
And people, especially in the jazz and kind of that medium,
Yeah.
you say cover charge, it's like a steel gate just shut. They just, and it's the biggest, weirdest thing to me, because you say, okay, no cover charge, come on in. They'll spend $100
Yes.
Sunday night.
That they'll spend the money.
Yeah, spend it. But
But-
if you say it's a $10 cover charge, they won't come. We don't want to know nothing about it.
Yeah.
It's wrong, but, and I'm doing it now. When we're doing
Wow.
a summer series, I could say for the brunch, I got maybe 35%, 40% of the people that were coming before when it was free.
When it was free.
Okay? Get 100 people out the door, eyes closed.
Yeah.
So it's just a dynamic of the business that at a certain level,
Yeah, man.
you know, you're doing less events and longer lead times
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
get people in.
No,
So
and
people will pay, but it's in the local area.
Right.
You know, now you go to New York,
It's
you put something on the street corner,
Yeah.
20 people show up along with the garbage man, a few
Yeah.
other people, and they're all having a ball.
right.
Out here in Jersey, you got to pull people out of their house.